Good morning, everyone. Buenos días a todos. Hoy es let's practice, 19 de mayo, año 2020. 19 de mayo, año 2020. So today is the 19th. As you saw yesterday, let's take a look really quickly at the schedule. As you saw yesterday, the schedule is going to look something like this. So today we are going to look at the study guide and we're going to look at the vocabulary section of it. On Wednesday is the flex day. On Thursday, we're going to look at the second part of the study guide. We're going to look at the grammar section. And then on Friday, okay, this Friday coming up, the 22nd, is the chapter 2 summative. So you might want to start studying for it. Take a look at your lessons, take a look at your notes, and be prepared to take it on Friday, okay? So what we're going to do today, our objectives are students will be able to go over vocabulary, the vocabulary section of the chapter 2 study guide. So I created a study guide for you guys. It has everything we've talked about for this chapter, and we're going to go over it. What I would like you to do now is down here you will see the study guide. I want you to download it. If you can't print it out, I want you to just download it and open it up on a tab so that you have it next to you. I will make it so you can edit it, so just like the last one, so you should be able to go in there and change your answers and stuff. Okay? All right. So I want you to go ahead and do that now. Download it, open it, have it ready. So I'm going to give you your first pausing point and go ahead and do that. Pausing point. All right. So you should have already downloaded it, opened it up. This is what the study guide, where'd it go? This is what the study guide looks like right here. So I'm going to be going over this today. Also, just want to mention that after we go over the study guide, which is what today's video is going to be about, I do have some optional things you can do afterwards to practice. I will include this family tree that you can complete. If you're able to print this out or just have it with you, you can, as always, you can just put the answers on a separate piece of paper if you can't do that. But this is just another family tree, and it has a word bank at the bottom. Notice how they use papa and mama instead of padre and madre. But you can figure this out and it'll help you for the test, okay? Notice that this one is yo, so this is going to be you, okay? It's going to be your starting point. So you can do this as extra practice if you want to get more familiar with those words. And I also have a video that I found. It's pretty short and it's really cool actually because I'm going to use it for you to practice the rooms of the house. This is the rooms and parts of the house in Spanish. But the guy that made this video actually adds on extra notes in the video that talk about some of the stuff that he mentions. For example, as you see here, there's these little things called notes. So when you're watching this video, what I really want you to pay attention to is the rooms of the house, okay? So he is going to go over the rooms of the house, as you can see here, sala, okay? When he gets to the notes part of it, you don't really have to pay attention too much to it, all right? My main focus for you guys is to practice the rooms of the house, but I'm going to make some suggestions for you because he does go over some of the stuff we've already talked about, like definite articles. He does mention the grammar that tener. He's going to talk about me gusta, no me gusta. He's going to talk about the verb we've been talking about, tener. So if you would like to understand what he's saying in the notes, I'm going to give you two suggestions for this video. Number one, he does talk really a little fast. So what you can do is go to settings, and I want you to do these two things. I think it'll help you. The first thing I want you to do is the playback speed. If you put it on 0.75, he will talk a little slower. and it'll help a lot when it gets to the notes. So if you're curious about what he's saying in the notes, it'll help you to kind of slow it down a little bit. And also, there are subtitles for this video. So it would be kind of cool if you watch the video once in Spanish, okay, or most of it in Spanish. It is only 3 minutes. And then what you can do to kind of see how they go about it is you can turn on the captions in English so that as he's reading these notes and going over the words, you can see what he's saying in English. And you can do this to kind of practice and make some comparisons and connections, okay? All right. So that was the video. Last thing I want to talk about really quickly before we get to the study guide is grading. So I made a little example thing here for you. I know I've been explaining the grading a lot, but that's because I'm going to get a lot of questions towards the end of the trimester as things start to wind down. Just remember that if you're caught up with all of your work, that means you turned in at least 90% of your work. You guys are going to be done in about 2.5 weeks. So if you're going into the classwork section of the class and you still have some missing assignments, you need to complete those. If you got low scores, you need to resubmit them with the correct answers, get a better grade. Otherwise, what I'll be putting in PowerSchool is zeros. So we're done on the 5th. If you completed all your assignments, you will be done in 2.5 weeks. So to make it a little bit more clear, let's say these are your scores. You got a 60, a 68, a 75, an 80, and a 20. This is what it will look like on Google Classroom. What I will do is this one I'm going to ask you to resubmit with correct answers, because otherwise, if you leave it as 60 on PowerSchool, this is going to show up as a 0. And if you don't resubmit it with the correct answers, because I'm going to put a little note, it's going to not only say 0, but it's going to have the little sign that says missing. Okay. Now, if you completed it and you're resubmitting it, it won't appear as missing because you already took it once. It'll just appear as incomplete. Okay. So that will show up as a 0 on PowerSchool if it's like that. If it's still a 60, but I ask you to resubmit it. If you haven't resubmitted it yet, it's going to appear as a 0 with an incomplete next to it. The incompletes are the color blue. All right, just so you guys know. The 68 is fine. That's going to show up as a 1. The 75, that's good. That's going to show up as a 1. The 80 is going to show up as a 1. And the 20 is going to be the same thing as the 60. If you got a really low grade, I'm going to ask that you resubmit with the correct scores. The first time I see it, I'm going to mark it the same way. Incomplete with a 0, and it's going to appear blue. If you have any missing assignments, let's say that you just didn't do this one and you got a 0 on it, or it's missing, it's going to appear as a 0, but it's going to have the other sign, the missing one. And that one is red or yellow, I believe. I'm going to put yellow. So go back into PowerSchool or Google Classroom. If I put any notes that say resubmit, go ahead and do that, because you don't want it to show up as a 0 incomplete. You want it to show up as a 1. Okay, that's what I'm basing you meeting competency for the class if you get a 1. So make sure you get more 1s than 0s. Okay, if you have any questions, just email me. All right, let's get to the study guide. I don't want to make this video too long because I tend to do that, and I apologize. Let's see. So this is what the I know this says retake, but this is going to be study guide. This is your study guide for this trimester. What it will look like, and the test is going to look very similar. You're going to have, your first part is going to be vocabulary. So you're going to have sentences that look like that. And we're going to go over them. The second part is going to look exactly the same. Your responsibility is I'm going to go over what each room should be so that we're clear on what room is which. And your responsibility is to make sure you correctly label each room. On Thursday, we're going to do the grammar part. So you will have the complete study guide. All right. Yeah. You will have the complete study guide. We're going to just do these 2 parts today. All right. So I'm going to give you a pausing point to just get settled in, get ready. You might want to pull the study guide next to you as I go over it. Here we go, pausing point. All right, so let's take a look at it. The first part is vocabulary. What's going to help you with the vocabulary is knowing the people, all right? Knowing your family members, los parientes, mamá, papá, abuelo. You need to know who is who. And in order to help you with this stuff, you should also, it would be a good idea to look at the notes that I gave you in the beginning, because the notes have those extra Spanish words. Now where'd it go? It has those extra Spanish words that I want you to make sure you know. Now I can't find it. There we go. These are the words that I want you to pay attention to. I've mentioned them before that you're not going to see them as much unless I show you specifically. It's these right here. Ready? Sobrino and sobrina, nephew and niece. And where are they? Nieto and nieta, grandson, granddaughter. You can also look at exit ticket 4 to see how I did that as well. All right. I graded some of them. You guys did actually pretty well on that. So good job. All right. So let's take a look. Number 1. El hermano de mi tío. El hermano de mi tío es mi. So I'm going to do this here on the study guide. Something you can do is you can try to figure out what the sentence is saying. The brother, okay, hermano is brother, of my, what's tío? Uncle is my. So you kind of have to do this first to figure it out in English, and then you can figure out what the answer should be. The brother of my uncle is my, should be father, right? So then the answer should be here, B. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, B. Hermano. Sorry, padre. Padre is B, father. All right. Let's do the second one. See if you guys can follow along with me. See what I'm doing. I'm doing it this way, okay? Because you can read the sentence and figure it out. If you can do that just by reading the sentence, figuring out who is who, and you feel confident about just putting in the answer, go ahead and do that. I'm writing the sentence because that's how I do it. That's how I learned to kind of practice with another language. Not with Spanish. I did this with French. But it's something you can do as well. So I'm showing it to you that way. All right. So you read the sentence. Los blank de mi padre son mis hermanos. So what does that say? Los is the, so the something of my padre is dad. Son mis are my, and then hermanos, brothers. Okay, let's see what we have so far. The blank of my dad are my brothers. The blank of my dad are my brothers. In English, it would make sense if the sons of my dad are my brothers. That would make sense. Okay? Because the sons of your dad would be your brothers. So, how do you say sons in Spanish? Hermanos is brother, so it can't be that one. Abuelos is grandma, grandpa, or grandparents, so it can't be that one. So it's got to be hijos, okay? That's the third one that I wanted you to see, and I think I exited out. But hijos, okay? That's the one. That's the other one. Sons. And if it's hijas, daughters. But in this case, hijos, okay? Los hijos de mi padre son mis hermanos. For this one, you can just do A, or if you want to, you can also just highlight what letter you choose. Okay, there's different ways. As long as it's clear to me what the answer is. Okay, I'm gonna do the third one without making a sentence. I'm just gonna read it and figure it out, and I'll show you. Like if I was taking the test, this is how another way you can do it. Los padres de mi madre son mis. Okay, so los padres. If it was just padre, it would be the father. But you have it plural, so it's the parents. The parents of my mother are my. The parents of my mother are my grandparents, right? In English. Now, which one of these three is grandparents? Abuelos, tíos, or sobrinos? Abuelos. So, I just wanted to show you this one, how I'm going to answer this one. You can either just put A, or if you like to highlight, you can just highlight this one, okay? Boom. There we go. Ooh, not yellow. That's gross. All right. There we go. Okay. If I see this, I'll clearly know that you wanted to pick A. Or if you just put A, that's also clear. Okay. Next one, number 4. Mi hermano y yo somos los blank de nuestros tíos. Mi hermano. Hermano is brother. Okay. So I'm going to go back to doing it in the sentence. Okay. My brother and Joe. What's Joe? I. My brother and I, somos los are the blank of our aunt and uncle. Remember, tios with the S at the end is both aunt and uncle. All right, so we have my brother and I are the blank of our aunt and uncle. What are your brother and I to your aunt and uncle? We have primos. What's primos in Spanish? Cousins. So my brother and I are cousins to our aunt and uncle. That would make sense. What about sobrinos, niece and nephew? My brother and I are nephews of our aunt and uncle. That would make sense. So we're going to maybe pick B. And then C, nietos. That would be grandson, granddaughter. My brother and I are grandsons of our aunt and uncle. No, that wouldn't make sense. So it's got to be B. All right? B. Or you could highlight it. The last one. Yo soy blank de mis padres. I am something of my parents. What are you to your parents? Are you el primo o la prima? No, you can't be the cousin of your parents. El sobrino, la sobrina? Niece and nephew? No, you can't really be niece and nephew. El hijo, la hija. Yeah, that would make sense. The son or daughter. So C. Okay? Now the rooms of the house. For the rooms of the house, I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew which room is which. That's my main focus. I think you guys can figure it out. You did pretty well on the exit ticket, labeling the rooms. So I just wanted to make sure. Now 14, if you look at 14, that one has, if you're looking at this house from a bird's eye view, this is the same as the worksheet if you did the worksheets. But if you look at this room here from bird's eye view, that's a bed. So this has to be el cuarto. Okay? If you put the other names for bedroom, that's fine too. All right, no worries there. But I just wanted to make clear. Oh my goodness, I know. I just wanted to make clear that that was el cuarto. All right, so you guys have it. Number 15 in this picture. If you look at 15 really closely, that's a little toilet. This is like the door, and that's a little toilet. So that would be the bathroom, right? Bathroom in Spanish is baño. If you can't do the little sign, don't worry about it. Okay, I know it's hard to do. Unless you have the spell check in Spanish or if the program reads other languages easily. All right, 16. If you look closely at this room, it has a little dining room table, una mesa, and it has a stove, una estufa. So because it has a stove and a table, we're going to say that's the kitchen, cocina. Number 17. This looks like a big table, all right? Una mesa grande para 4 personas. So this should be el comedor. Okay, 17, comedor. And the last one, this one here, should be the living room. All right, la sala. You see kind of like a little couch with a table. This would be like a corner table with TV maybe on it. So this is the living room, okay? Living room. And that would be how you should label these, okay? You just want to tell me the name. And then here it's going to be multiple choice. You saw the different ways that I went about it. You can try to rewrite the sentence to try to make sense of what the sentence is saying. You can just read the sentence and then figure out what the main words are and figure it out from there. You can pick the letters, like highlight the letters to choose your answers, or you can just write the letter here, okay? So that was our first part of the study guide. Tomorrow we're going to look at the grammar, okay? So hopefully this will help you figure out what the test is going to look like, all right, guys? Okay, so I'm going to put that there. You guys have also, where is it? You guys also have these other things you can do that are optional if you want to practice today, okay? Other than that, that is all for today's lesson. I hope you guys have a great day. And if you need anything, just send me an email, okay? Que tengan buen día, muchachos. Hasta luego.